I think that's a focus of today. The park, for those who don't know, is a brainchild of His Highness the Ruler of Sharjah's vision of making Sharjah the center for innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship. We pride ourselves in Sharjah to have the largest academic city in this region, which is we are surrounded with more than 22 universities and education institutions, and more than 45,000 students and 2,000 PhDs. This is for us is a wealth of talents and a wealth of potential businesses and potential technology. The technology park here is a platform to engage academia, to engage private sector, and to engage the government all under one platform, which we call Triple Helix. The park started nearly 4 years ago. We pride ourselves today to have different technologies developed here, whether it's in transport and logistics. Probably you saw the next generation trains technology that we are developing here. We also pride ourselves to have a significant development on technology related to 3D printing, additive manufacturing. We have one of the biggest labs in the country downstairs here. You can go and visit. We print components for oil and gas, for automotive. We use metal printing to print that. We also have significant labs upstairs you can also go visit for 3D technologies. We also have things that are related to architecture, technology of mixed reality, virtual reality, and augmented reality, which is just in the corner here. You can go and visit the Experiential Center. And also we have things in agriculture technology. So the park is, through its time, worked very hard on attracting different type of technologies into our ecosystem here. Our ecosystem thrives on partnership. We are very, really excited about our relationship with Portugal. We've been getting businesses and visitors coming throughout the month so far. Today actually we have 2 delegations from Portugal, which is great. And I'm really happy to have also a representative from our business community here, our academic community, and also government sitting with us here. It's a great opportunity. I had a conversation very quickly with Mr. President about the focus of this session today, which is really using wood as part of architecture, as part of buildings, as part of furniture. In this part of the world, in the UAE at least, we've always been a little bit hesitant to use wood because we have problems with the weather. And if technology and architecture will be able to solve those 2 issues, then I think wood is great development for us here. Now, the good news, as I was telling Mr. President here, that we have a very nice wooden house just like 1 kilometer here inside the park. I invite you all to go and visit this wooden house because I believe it's the best practice wooden house. If you want to see real application of wooden house, you can go. Probably most of you seen the wooden house at the corner there. Have you seen it? No? It's belonged to Skyway. I think our team, if you have time, you can go and visit, and that would be a real application and a real demonstration of your innovation as well, because I think you can relate to a real example. But wood is a big industry, and I think it's more sustainable and more healthy for many diseases as well, vis-a-vis cement and other things. So today I think we will have a great opportunity to hear from experts on wood. We would be more than happy to help and promote. I think there are a lot of applications that we can use. I will also encourage you, Mr. President, and your association, maybe to do some sort of a demo here to showcase your innovation here, so we can show the world, and we can show our government and our private sector that actually this can work, and you can use it whether for your stable or for your house or your farms, and instead of using concrete. So I wish you all the very best here, and to enjoy the session, and network please, and do make business together. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Nadia Al-Hassani. I'm the Dean of the College of Fine Arts and Design at the University of Sharjah, and I will be moderating the session for today. Thank you very much for the invitation. I also want to acknowledge the presence of our students from interior design, led by their faculty. I have to do some promotion for my students as well. So welcome everybody. We're running a little bit behind, and I understand the reason for that. For the delegation, instead of the bus bringing them to Sharjah, they were on their way to Abu Dhabi. So they had to do a detour and come back. So good to have our guests. I'm very familiar with our guests' work. They were here previously and they did contact the university, and I think you're totally going to enjoy the presentations today. And I look forward, like all of you, to a healthy discussion. If you don't mind, so we can make sure that we are on time, we will leave the questions and answers to the end. So just hold off, and I promise that we'll get to everybody's questions. I would like to start first with Mr. President. Again, welcome, good to see you in Sharjah. This is the second time we see you. Victor Pocas, Dr. Victor, is the president of what's known as AIMMP, which is the Portuguese Association of Wood and Furniture Industries. Okay, we're going to practice Portuguese by the end of today. He actually has a very interesting CV, and it's very long. So just to make it short, his background actually is in business management, and business administration from the Portuguese University. But he actually developed and has expertise in the health sector management as well as public-private partnerships. He started working for hospitals, and he was on the board, very interesting CV. He was on the board of the University Polytechnic Higher Education Cooperative, right? Yes, of sciences, health sciences, yeah? Yeah, of sciences. And since then, he's actually on a number, very active on the European scene. He's on a number, either presidents, vice presidents, or on the boards of the Confederation of the Portuguese Business, Portuguese Confederation of Construction and Real Estate Business, Training Center for Woodworking Industries and Furniture, European Confederation of Woodworking Industries, European Confederation of Furniture Industries, as well as the European Timber Industries Confederation. So wood is very much part of what he promotes and what he's very familiar with. And so hopefully we'll see how we can transfer the Portuguese knowledge in terms of working with wood and coming up with products that work for this part of the world. So I'm going to start first with a video, if with all your permission.
Portugal is one of the oldest countries in Europe, having its borders set since the 12th century with an enormous historical and cultural heritage. Since then, has experienced important developments. In the 15th century, the Portuguese discoveries were responsible for the creation of the largest commercial maritime country, having become one of the greatest political and economic powers, an undertaking that ensured important advances in technology, cartography, and astronomy, as well as in wood shipbuilding. The talent of its people is, not only in the past, marks of contemporaneity shape that contours of the current history of this country. Portugal is a safe country with excellent infrastructure and stable political environment, with a secure tax system offering good conditions for foreign investment, which has managed to attract large multinational companies and international trading. Get to know Portugal and its woods and furniture industries. In recent years, Portugal has shown a new approach and high degree of dynamism and creativity in wood building materials, furniture industry, and interior design, becoming one of the major global suppliers of the market. Portuguese wood and furniture industry offers an unparalleled variety of products of proven quality and excellent design, providing integrated solutions to fully satisfy the ever-changing technical demands and creativity of architects and designers. A combination of contemporary design with the craftsmanship passed on from one generation to the next, supported by the state-of-the-art technology processes of production. The Portuguese wood and furniture industries possesses great experience and tradition, as well as remarkable flexibility. The sector is backed up by a significant group of top-quality companies with knowledge of international market and is equipped with the most up-to-date technology, constantly investing in research and development of products and manufacturing processes and new design. The Made in Portugal brand has many benefits. Eco-efficiency in the productive process, concern with the sustainability of the sources of supply, product flexibility, but standardized scale production, focus on the high-quality materials carefully processed for the best performance, worldwide distribution with assurance in logistics and prompt response. The wood and furniture industries exports 2.6 billion worldwide per year, and the sector is represented by the Portuguese Association of Wood and Furniture Industries, which mission is to represent, promote and protect the interests of Portuguese companies. A history of success with more than 65 years in supporting the sector, made up of more than 8,000 companies and 55,000 jobs. Through AIM's internationalization strategy, the Interwood and Furniture program supports Portuguese companies to expand into new growing markets. Over the years, this program has supported more than 300 companies throughout more than 140 actions in more than 20 markets, having certainly contributed to the growth of the sector's exports by around 1,000 million euros in the last 9 years. We invite you to meet our companies.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for attending this conference. Thank you very much for the Sarja Research, Technology and Innovation, the person of your director, and Tiago is a Portuguese person. Congratulations to stay here with us. Thank you very much for Nadia. You are my friend, and thank you for your support in this conference and as well in the future. I think that we will have some activities in cooperation between Portuguese universities and the AIMP and your university. Thank you very much for Daniel Pont. You are the best every time with us in Middle East. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for Arquiteto Carlos Castanheira. Is one of the best Portuguese architects in wood. It's a pleasure to come with us for this conference. And Artur Suarez is one of the best Portuguese designer, an interior designer, and it is a pleasure to come and to talk about Portuguese design and European design. And thank you very much for the communication that stay with us to promote our country and our products. My name is Vitor Poças. I'm president of Portuguese Association of Wood and Furniture Industries. Also president of ETIC, European Timber Industries Confederation. Also board member of the EFIC, European Furniture Industries Confederation, and another jobs that I have all days. In this case, I want to say that IMP elected the Middle East as one for this year, 2021, after the COVID risk or COVID crisis, to promote the Portuguese and European design in your region. So in the frame of Interwood and Furniture and Associative Design, the best of Portugal, now with the umbrella, the Made in Portugal Naturally, and with the support of the Portuguese government, and in this case directly by SEP, that is a Portuguese agency to promote the foreign commerce. We are here to show you our design and our solutions for your houses, homes, hotels, office, and infrastructures, several infrastructures. So I'm very happy to be here, and I have sure that we have opportunity to offer the best of the best products for your homes. We have a big project in this case that it's the name is Associative Design, the best of Portugal, and we will speak again about this project. But now I want to say that we was in the wood show in March. We was in the fair, this wood show, and then in May and June we was in the Index Dubai or Hotel Show Dubai, and as well in the Mirdif. In September we was in Jeddah and Riyadh with a beautiful exhibition for the hospitality, for the Hotel Show Riyadh. And now we return again for Dubai to make exhibitions in the downtown design district. So we made an exhibition in downtown design Dubai, but we will be in this month, during 1 month. As well, we have an exhibition in the Portuguese Pavilion and in the Expo 2020 with this umbrella, Made in Portugal Naturally by Associative Design. And I invite all to come with our Portuguese Pavilion to visit our exhibitions, which showcase about the traditional professionals in all weeks changing about the handcraft professions in Portugal. In December we will be in the Sarja, in the Furniture 316 with a new exhibition in the fair. So, and in the parallels, we are with 24 or 25 companies in trade mission to organize some meetings, B2B, or visit the Chamber of Commerce of Dubai, Chamber of Commerce of Ras Al Khaimah, and in this conference and then other meetings with the companies of this region. So we are with the focus to promote the European design is the reason that we come with the designer and the architect to offer the best products for yours home. So thank you very much for this attending. I think that we have some ideas to create a new project in wood in your region, because wood is amazing, is beautiful, is healthy, is sustainability, and I will talk about sustainability in the second round. But now I leave my words for the next presentations, and more one time, thank you very much for this attending.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The highlight of this morning is Carlos Castella. It gives me great pleasure to introduce him. He's originally an architect who was educated as an architect in the College of Fine Arts at the School of Fine Arts in Oporto. And then he spent 9 years in Amsterdam between studying and working, returned back to Portugal and founded the practice of Carlos Castanheira and Clara Bastai, who is his partner. And then he works mainly in private sector, but I just spoke to him earlier before we started. Since he was a student, he managed to be completely involved with the well-known Portuguese architect Álvaro Siza. Many of you know him. Mostly he does work with him on international projects, which gives him a great experience in terms of practice. Today, he specifically is going to be talking to us about his experience with wood in terms of construction. But his long list of over 15 awards, sorry, Carlos, I'm going to go with the last three. The last 3 awards that he received, which gives you an idea of his experience. He was one of 8 finalists in 2019 for the National Prize of Architecture in Timber, which was for a project called Fiel Viana Hotel, right? And this is a hotel in Portugal. In 2020, he received the award for the real estate prize for Espresso and a category in construction and sustainable architecture, where he received an honorable mention for the project T-Top Walk. Maybe you'll share it with us today. And most recently, 2021, he was awarded the International Platform Art Daily, the category of Cultural Architecture Building of the Year 2021 for a project with architect Álvaro Siza in China. So without further ado, welcome Carlos, and we look forward to your presentation.
Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure. Thank you to be here, and I hope I don't disappoint you. I have some projects. I brought with me some projects in wood. I was invited by the Wood Association of Portugal, and so it's a very pleasure work I do. I like very much. I live in a house made in wood, and there is no innovation without tradition. So only when you have tradition, and when you study the tradition, you can innovate, you can go forward. So I brought some of our traditional wood constructions. These are farm constructions for corn. And of course, we still have those things. These are old photos, but we still have those things in a very good still using. And so we have a good way to study how the wood was used, how the things were built. And we also have, like Professor Nadia said, we have a very famous architect. He was my teacher, I'm his partner in many projects. I'm a very good friend. He made a project when he was very young, very, very young. He started very young. It is a swimming pool on the sea. And part of it is made in wood. As you can see, it's an old photo. And you can see the mixture between the rocks, the existing rocks, and the construction. And here you can see that the swimming pool is quite special because it uses the rocks, because our sea is quite wild. So we need to have some place to swim, because it's very funny to play with the waves, but to swim is not so easy. But you can see that along the avenue, the boulevard, there is a construction made of concrete and wood. And the concrete is already repaired several times, and the wood still is okay. Although it is nearby the sea, has the influence of the salt, but the wood, it's a very good construction. So the roofs are made of wood, and this building is almost 60 years, and it's still a pleasure to visit. So with this, we learn, we try to understand how the material is and how to. And so when I got the first, not the first, but one of the possibilities to make in wood, I made a little house on a national park. We cannot make big houses on a national park. Usually we don't make big houses also, but we do sometimes quite big for us, for our standard. And it's nearby the water. There's a dam, a big artificial lake. On that dam, I designed this little house. It's a special house because the difference of level was very big. The client wanted to see the water, and if I was putting the house on a lower level, he could not see the water, so I decided to put this house on pilotis. So as you can see, it's standing from the ground. The ground was an existing tennis court, and so I made higher. In that way, I could make a big deck where people could be outside and enjoy. And so it's all made of wood. It's already 15 years old. It's doing very well. And so it has this particularity of giving some pleasure to be in it. So it's, as you can see here, is the huge deck that you can see the landscape. This is a special landscape. It's one of the regions where it rains more in Portugal. It's very green. And so the interior is very open, tries to be very open to the outside, connected to the exterior area, but always with very, very open spaces. Fireplace is something that is very common in Portugal because we have very nice weather, but sometimes, especially in the winter, of course, we need to have some heating. And so you can see that although it is a wood construction, we can use stone not only on the floors but on the walls. So it's a very interesting way of putting. And here you can see the image that is quite very well known, that you can arrive to the house by a little bridge, then go down to the living area, and then go down again to the storage. And if you walk down, you go to the private beach on this lake. Another thing that is now becomes quite common because we have a big development are the wineries. We are very, very good in making wine, very big tradition. And lots of wineries started to be renovated because our laws are much more strict. And of course, wine is food, so it needs to be a lot of hygienic handling. So I was invited to do. I brought today 2 wineries. They are extensions, let's say, of existing ones. And so you can see that my approach was not to make traditional, but to make on a line of tradition and to use the existing materials, the stones, the different stones that we have on the side, and the wood construction. And they asked me to make the connection between existing and new one, and also the inside, so to make some events, some parties, some marriage, by example, that is very common. So this is the big space, the main big space. And architects in Portugal, we do everything. We try to do everything. So we do not only, let's say, the concept, but we do all the interiors. We design lamps, by example. And so we still are very much both are fine arts architects that we design from. Another thing that is also very becomes quite common, it's and related with the material, the wood. It's the Equestrian Center. So this is a private one. It's not a very big one, but it's very close to the sea. And this was, of course, a very nice, an interesting approach of design, because the dimension was become bigger, not for living people, but for living horses, and sometimes even they are much better treated than people. So it is very, very specific situation how to give comfort and to these animals. And so it's a very special with different rules, and the wood can give a good answer to this new program. So this is the big hall where you can make competitions. There are, of course, regulations about that. And I also was a horse rider a long time ago, so I knew some of the regulations, so it was very specific. But as you can see, these buildings can be made in wood and even be close to the seawater with the salt, and it even protects it. So it is still being used for maybe 10 years, something like that. It's a private one, but has some movement. And it's a pleasure every time I go there to see that it's very well treated, the maintenance. Another project that is maybe 5 years old, already Professor Nadia spoke about it. It's a hotel on the dunes. In Portugal, the dunes are protected, but this one, it could be it's not a protected dune. We could build a hotel very close to the sea. Our sea is not only wild in the waves, but also in the wind. So there are people from all over Europe and also from abroad to make surf, kite surf, windsurf, all over the year. So, and it was missing a hotel. It's really the target of this hotel is people that makes sea sports. It's not a big hotel. It's only 42 room and nine bungalows, but it's a very low profile, very long building, so that every room has a sea view, not touching the sand of the dunes, and part of it is inside of these pine trees, and nobody puts the foot on the sand. Everybody walks on this elevated walk, and so we try very much that the site is not touched, so to preserve and to try not to use the soil as to destroy it. This is the main hall, the lounge, and the restaurants with these bigger ceilings. And of course, it's a different hotel. There's not many hotels in wood, and not so close to the sea. So it's quite a big success, although it's a small one. Here you can see the inside swimming pool with a double height, and the restaurant, the breakfast areas, and the views. and one of the rooms. So all this is wood structure, wood finishings. I like very much to do the structure as finishings. So it's always a pleasure to see very fast that the volume and the finishing is done. And now we jump quite fast to another experience. We have a very good and special museum in Porto, very famous modern art museum, contemporary art, and he's on a big garden of a very nice villa, a villa from the 30s. And on this garden there is wood, and on this wood they asked me to make a treetop so that they could do different lessons for kids. They have a big program for kids. And so it was a very interesting experience because it seems that you are very high, but the treetop walk, it's totally horizontal. So it's very easy for people to walk, but because the ground goes down, it seems that you are very high, and you are related to the soil. But it goes to 23 meters is the highest point, but it's quite interesting. In this case, we made a mixture of in reality, we made two mixtures. One that is metal structure with wood, and also another thing that they ask us is to use old wood in this structure. Try to make most as possible wood that was already used in other houses, so from demolishing. So, and it was not so easy because the industry of the wood is not so open to use dirty wood, let's say, but we could reach to do all the paths and different structures in it. So you can see that this goes around along the trees, not touching the trees. Was quite interesting and difficult to do it and to build it without touching the trees. We are completely forbidden to cut even a little piece of a tree. And so you can see people passing, sometimes you don't see people, and so you see that it's quite high, and it's a very pleasure. In the middle of the walkway, we have a kind of small theater, and where they can, people can stop, can look to the view, or even to give a lesson, because they have a lot of activities explaining the trees, explaining the birds, and all these other things that can happen. Yes, all this thing is infrastructure with every high tech, so you can make lessons, you can make a theater, you can do a lot of things connected with a major building, and so there happens a lot of activities. And one of the last ones was Saralves Museum. As every summer, all the park is with lights. They invited an artist, and this artist makes lights, different kinds of lights. And this here, this designer, this artist, Nuno Maia, he designed a very beautiful projections of the different kinds of lights. But for the treetop, I'm very thankful to him because he planned these big moons, so it gives a very beautiful light. And it's very interesting that the building renovates himself, so it's changing all the time, and it depends of the hours of the day, but also even during the night. Another winery that I finished last year, although the pandemic situation, it is a very beautiful area. So it's another area. We have 5, 6 fantastic areas of wine. This is down, more or less in the center of Portugal. And so a company bought this land. They asked me to make, there was a very ugly and bad quality winery. So we just demolish it and make the new one. And so it was necessary to design not only the building, but also the landscape, because of there's quite a sophisticated way of making wine, how the grapes arrive, how the wine cannot be pumped, must go down with gravity, how the wine goes then to be put in the bottle. So this is quite an interesting way. And so the landscapes, well, it's more or less always in Portugal, almost everything is green. And you see that was very important, not only for the clients, but also for me, how the way we put the building on it. Also, one typical thing, on a winery, that you need to preserve the wine. So the temperature, usually there's no much light, but I try to have a light, a natural light inside, so that when you visit, you can have a kind of mysterious life. Not too much, but enough. So they asked me to make a nice balcony because they wanted to have some tasting of the wine outside to look to the property. And of course, we use, and now is a big issue, we use cork, a national product. We are the biggest producers of cork. We are a small country, but we are the world's biggest producer in cork. So we made all insulation, thermal insulation with cork. It was quite easy because the company, the owners of the winery are the biggest producers of cork in Portugal. So we made quite a huge. I could design the pieces, of course, the cork. So it was a very interesting issue. And of course, they like people to visit the winery, but they don't want people to visit the winery. So because the rules of cleaning the winery, everything needs to be so clean because we are making food. So they asked me that they would like that visitors visit the barrel hall where the wine stays for a longer time, but they don't want people on the floor. So I designed a walkway hanging from the ceiling so that the people could visit it without putting a foot on the ground. This is the main hall where the big barrels in concrete or in stainless steel are located. And of course, the wooden structure and the wooden presence is quite important, not only because it's nice the way the building breathes, but also it's nice to see and it gives a good ambience. So you can see this the outside balcony. You can look outside and be outside. They have many visitors from abroad and from Portugal. And another building that I designed on the previous winery that I showed you, the winery is doing quite well, and they ask us, because we have a big development of tourists in Portugal, to make 4 little apartments for tourists. So you can see this big property with different wine, the grapes, different qualities, red, white, something like that. And in the middle of that, there is these buildings. And I designed it in wood, all wood structure, wood panels. This is not yet finished, so that we have a living room on the ground floor. On the mezzanine, we have a small bedroom looking to the view. View is fantastic, always changing these colors. And so in this special ambience of wood all around, that gives you much comfort and much peace, I believe. So you can see this view of the sleeping area. And how because the ground is not smooth, it's a lot of movement on the topographic ground. We designed a little water tank. We are not allowed to make swimming pools, kind of water tank, but where of course people can swim. But because there's no much water in this area, but we developed this stone water tank, and it's almost finished. With very careful woodwork. It's a pleasure to work in Portugal with people that work with wood. They are very good. Usually they are really very good. I like very much this kind of people. And so you can see that although I've made all the buildings, and little by little, everything is renovated, and the ambience is getting better. As last project, are some 3D images. I would like to show you one little project that we designed with Artur Suarez. It's very special because it's in South Korea, but made in Portugal. Not only the design, but also everything. So we have this very nice old client. We all worked for him for a long time. We designed the stone house, the white one, nearby the sea, some years ago. And then he asked us to make a tea house. But he is one of the biggest producers of green tea in South Korea. But in reality, when they ask us a tea house, it's a wine house. It's where they drink wine. Because South Koreans, they drink really as crazy. And they drink also good tea. They drink tea during the day, and at night they drink wine. And he asked us to have a kind of pavilion with a room to be not so close to the house, but to be close to the house for friends and for guests. And of course it was a pleasure because we did it with our carpenters in Portugal. We put every piece in into containers, and the 4 carpenters went to South Korea without speaking a word of English, speaking a word of South Korean, and they put up all this house, and this very interesting, also very close to the sea. He is very happy. Of course, they also are very special in landscapes, very fast. They organize the gardens, and it seems that it's there for a long time, but because they're very keen on the plantations and the moving trees. They move trees all around, it's amazing. We cannot do that in Portugal. If you touch a tree easily, it dies. But it's ambience. We also designed some of the interior pieces. So this is the balcony looking to the sea. And going in the tradition of Korea and Japan and even China, we did all these with sliding doors. So everything slides, we can almost open everything. The living room, but also the small sleeping rooms. It can be totally open, totally closed, half open to the left, half closed to the right. So it was very interesting, and it's very interesting also to think this, to make it at home, and then to bring it to South Korea. And so this is our experience. Most of it is our pleasure. So we have a lot of pleasure to do this. We are very happy to have very good clients that became our friends. And I believe that wood can be not the solution for the future, but a very good solution for many problems. And although many people say that it's a lot of maintenance, a lot of problems, it's not true. Wood can be good forever, especially because we are not here forever. So it's enough. And I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for
Obrigado. Obrigado means thank you in Portuguese. So we picked up a Portuguese word. Okay. We move.
One second. Obrigada, it's the Portuguese word, like Professor Nadi said, to say thank you, and is the origin of thank you in Japanese, arigato. So because we were the first ones from Occident, from the West to achieve Japan, and they took some of the words from Portuguese vocabulary, and one of the most famous is this, arigato and obrigado. So as you can see, it's almost the same thing.
Good to know. Thank you very much. I didn't know that. We learn something new every day. We're moving now from interesting architecture with wood, and we're going to be moving to the field of design. It gives me great pleasure to welcome back to Sharjah Artur Suarez. Some of you may have met him in a previous presentation that we had in Sharjah last spring. He is the founder and creative director of Designers Mint. He also teaches design. His background is an architect as well. However, he decided to shift careers, and his master's was focused on furniture design, right? And since then, he has worked on numerous projects in architecture, interior design, as well as product design. So without further ado, please welcome Artur to the podium. All yours. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming here. Thank you, Nadia, for this invitation for the second time. So I'm here, as Nadia said, I'm architect, but my study already is furniture design because I have the past in this industry because my grandfather started a company of furniture, and so after that, coming to my father. And after that, the stories continue, also for my sons, and let's see. So I'm here to speak about the furniture designer, and now it's important to see how the people sometimes in shows coming to us and tell me, Arthur, why now the Portuguese furniture design are so trendy? And that is the reason why, and I will try to show you why now and not before, and hope to see by the next years this. So we are starting to, as Carlos said, with the heritage. Portuguese is a country with a long time ago, and so we have the power to have that lessons coming from a past, and let's see in the future we're going to start to work with that. So to create a context, I think I need to talk about these connections. The connection between industry and designer, the connection between handmade and technology, and the connection between innovation and heritage. So start about the industry and designer. About probably the 80s and the 90s, the Portuguese industry in the furniture tried to make the internationalization, coming to get a good price and get quality. So the design at this time is not very important, for sure it's important, but what we are trying to do when we are going to international markets and international exhibition is trying to show to the outside that we could produce with good quality, good design, but not with the identity. So we are trying to be very competitive at this time. And as you know, the designers by that time wasn't recognized like an added value for the industry furniture. So they are expensive, they are the guys who make some sketch, but not sell or produce directly. So what is happening is the designers by the 80s and the 90s start to go outside the country, trying to get the opportunity to show what they can do. And they have a little bit like a twist by the beginning of the millennium, and they create a connection between the designers and the industry. So the designers, they are going to do, as I said before, to the outside, get the recognition, and so the industry tried to see, okay, we have quality here, we don't need to go outside, let's try to see what you can do together. And what is good for all, because we can have the industry, and now we're gonna have the designers trying to make that connection and try to create something new. So the message that we want to share is we are not here just to get a quality and get the cheap price, but now we have the design, and that was very important. So by that umbrella, made and designed in Portugal, we can create and show that we are more than producers. We are designers. We are the guys that have quality, like the other ones in Italy, in France, and in other countries. So at this moment, the designers start to being recognized as an important resource. We are the guys with the technical skills. We are creative. We have the vision. We can make the design concept for the industry. And so what's going to happen at this moment is the industry trying to get some these furniture designers for companies, for furniture companies. And the other end, we get to have some brands, for example, like me, that we're gonna create the studio, create our collection, and after that, try to get partnerships between the industry. So what's gonna happen suddenly, as designers, we have two very good tools to work. We have the artisans with the very good skills, and on the other end, we have the technology, the CNC machines, and all the powerful that we're gonna have in our country. Also, the designers start to try to understand how can create, because what's gonna happen before, when you go to the furniture industry, we are the guys that create some good sketch, beautiful sketch, and how we can produce it. And when we show the sketch to some producer in the furniture company, they say, okay, it's impossible to do, forget it. But now we can start to see how we can do it. We go to the floor of the facilities and try to work with the materials. And this is a very good add value, because I know that sometimes when I go to the industry and show any sketch for my brand, and when the producer said, oh, it's impossible, now I can say, why it's impossible? Because what? If you can do with this material, this, and this, we can do that. Oh, I see. I don't see by that way, but probably could be possible. Let's try. And sometimes it's happening. A few days ago, I spoke with a colleague and from another brand, and the guy told me, it's impossible to do that chair. Do you know what I did? I create a prototype of the chair and said, now tell me it's impossible. I say, oh, I see, with that. Okay, it's possible to create that. And it's different, because now with the know-how that we have, we can be helpful and try to help this. So this, for example, is the two partners that we have in Portugal. And as you can see, the small one, we can create prototypes. The guys is usually coming with us, and we can go to there working and try to create a prototypes. And on the other end, we have a very big company with the technology and could be helpful for us. And for example, in that time, we can work with handmade and help us with the technology and CNC machines to help us. For example, in that corner in the right side, it's a piece that we have, it's handmade. But to see if it's possible to create that, we make the AutoCAD file, go to a CNC machine, try to work that, and after that, we see it's possible, so let's try to do with handmade. And in the left side is another piece that the guy do it with a simple sketch and create that piece. And in the metalworks, it's the same. We can create with laser cut, sorry. And by the other end, we can work with the technical and the traditional techniques that we usually have there in Portugal. And here we come to the last, and the innovation and the heritage that we have. So in Portugal, we are as designers, and we have that heritage behind us. We can work with tiles, filigrane, cork, plaster, wood, and fabrics and ceramics. And this is also what we introduced in the furniture industry in the last years. What we did before is working, if the market said it's lacquered wood, we work with lacquered wood. If the market said we need high glossy with LEDs and something else, we'd work with that. But now we try to see what our past show us, what the lessons we learned, and after that we start working with difference. That is in my opinion, one of the biggest innovations that we made. We have a very know-how and historical and cultural heritage in Portugal. And that is the innovation, in my opinion,